Good evening, and welcome to 20-somethings, a show by 20-somethings for 20-somethings. On today's episode, we're going to be discussing the reemergence of a particular doom metal band, Canada's ban on U.S. liquor as part of U.S. and Canada's trade war, and the latest animated Oscar winner, Flow. I'm your host, Ivan Nasovsky, and I'm joined live today by my amazing team of co-hosts. Please say hello to Scott, Chloe, and Riley. How is everyone doing tonight?
Doing good.
Just peachy, yeah.
Excellent, excellent. All right, so let's jump in today. So, recently, a band that has been around since 1971 called Pentagram has taken social media by storm, particularly due to the stage presence of their lead singer, Bobby Liebling. And I have prepared a clip for you, so let's take a look at that. So yeah, that was Pentagram. Who is this mystical person? Like, can we just?
I
can
wish
we
he was
just
my
talk?
grandfather.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be one hell of a grandpa having Bobby on stage. Like, I just want to know, is like that fan, like his hair is blowing in the wind. Do they always have a fan going for him to make sure that his hair looks like that?
That's a good question, because in other shows I've seen of him, because obviously after seeing that, I just had to look, me being a musician, I had to look into that. And I've seen other performances where his hair is just perfectly like down, like normal. But man, like one of the comments on that video was, bro was controlling the entire band with his mind. And it just looks like he was just aura maxing. Like the aura in that man is crazy.
I feel like I want to know more about this guy. Like, I feel like what he's like, his like stage presence, his method is like pretty good, because it's like, dude, like, what is this guy's thing? Like, what's his deal?
Yeah, I mean, so like I said earlier, they formed in 1971. I believe they're an American doom metal band.
1971.
Yeah, they've been around that long, and
I've never heard of these guys.
And
I was 7.
And currently, the current lineup that you saw in that video is Bobby Liebling is on lead vocals, Tony Reed's on guitar, Scooter Haslip is on bass, and Henry Vasquez is on drums. And I did some digging, and the song they're playing in this video, if y'all want to check them out, that song is called "The Ghoul."
Scary.
Yeah.
Is that why he looks like that?
I mean, he's also 71.
Yeah, it tracks.
So not a fan of his look and style.
No, I rock with it. Are you kidding?
I mean,
oh yeah.
The hair?
I don't know if that's viscose on a shirt, but I gotta get one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of looks like the guy what's the guy's name from Back to the Future? The doctor?
Doc Brown?
He kind of looks like him if he was like more insane.
He also reminds me of, especially the way he was on stage holding the microphone with the shirt undone, reminded me of Polish lead vocalist Janusz Panaszewicz of Lady Punk, which is another great band I recommend checking out.
I haven't heard of them.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They formed in Poland in 1981, and they're probably arguably the biggest band at the moment in Poland.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think like this is his? Do you think he's like that off stage? Like very mysterious and like he'll stare you down. Like, do you think he acts like that, or do you think it's all a stage play?
So I've never met the guy, so I can't really talk
Well,
on his
it's
behalf.
your opinion,
I mean, I feel like that's because I've read the comments, and they said that Bobby is just an animal, like a freak, a beast. So I guess you can say part of like his stage persona maybe translates somewhat into real life. I mean, he obviously has been involved in scandals, one including pushing his mother down a flight of stairs at home.
Oh.
I didn't.
Hell
I mean,
yeah.
you said obviously.
Obviously.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
have. I wouldn't have. Even,
I saw it in his eyes. Yeah.
So you said his name's Bobby.
Yes.
And he's a freak. So, he's
Freak Bob.
Freak Bob?
Freak Bob.
Can we get a clip of Freak Bob?
Maybe in post-production.
Okay.
Shout out Sean for post-production.
So a scandal, like he pushed his. I feel like that's a hard thing to be like up in the air on. He either pushed his grandma down the stairs or he didn't.
I'm sorry, when did this happen? His grandma? Like, how recent was this, considering he's 71 now? So, like, how...
million years old.
Right, when did these allegations go back? Like, 1967? Like, I just am curious in the timeline with that.
That's a good question. I'll have to look into that because
Did she survive the fall? Like...
That's another thing I'll have to look into. But...
You said scandals, so was there more than one?
He has been known to... You know how, like, people, there's a stereotype of, like, the older generation, like, harassing women, like, catcalling them, and just
Yeah.
sexualizing them?
Yeah.
He fits that profile.
Okay. So he's like a piece of shit?
And he was also he was a heroin addict for 48 years, too.
Rock on, Bobby.
I mean,
that's the rock star in him.
I mean, wasn't everyone on drugs back in the day? I mean, you had Clapton,
I think so.
Yeah.
Clapton, John Belushi. Yeah. Anyways, as part of substances, our next topic involves liquor, particularly U.S. whiskey. So, as you know, current President Donald Trump has imposed tariffs on Canada, 20% tariff. And in retaliation, Canada has imposed their own tariffs and has also started taking U.S. liquors off the shelf. And I have a clip for that, so let's take a look.
Michter's Distillery in Louisville, iconic Kentucky bourbon is distilled, aged, bottled, and shipped to more than 80 countries. Their largest foreign market, Canada, where most provinces are now defiantly pulling American liquor from store shelves.
It's definitely caused a hit to our business.
Andrea Wilson is Michter's chief operating officer.
Orders have been canceled. That's the reality of it.
Already orders have been canceled.
Yes, we have $115,000 of product sitting.
That product is just sitting here in Michter's warehouse with Canada-specific labels on these bottles in English and in French. They don't know what to do with this, and if nothing changes, they fear their losses will grow.
So clearly the liquor industry has been hurting. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I know what they can do with those extra bottles, like the French and the English packaging. They can send them my way. Like, I don't care what language the bottles are printed in. I'll take them off their hands. But my whole perspective on this is I think it's a waste of our time to be trying to be, like, doing the trade wars and everything. Obviously, we can't go back then. But, I hope that this... this opens people's eyes up, that being like these little things like, your maker's mark, your whiskey and everything is not going to be there. I hope that people will start to wake up to what's happening because of that.
I mean, it's obviously a retaliation thing, and it's like we voted for this.
Yeah.
Like, this is our fault, and I don't know. It's petty. It's petty on both sides, but people really dislike Donald Trump, and even the whole thing about when the president of Ukraine was there, and they were just like basically bullying him for 2 hours straight, and now all of our allies are backing Ukraine, and it's not going well, and it's like little things like this that just keep adding to the pile,
There was an interview from someone affiliated with the EU, and one of the quotes she said, in a world full of uncertainties about our social economic class and everything like that, is we shouldn't be trying to burden our economies by creating tariffs and everything against each other. These are our allies. We should be friends with our allies. This is, I feel like, back when you were in elementary school, and if you were trying to trade someone's Pokemon cards, and you're like, no, I don't want to trade Pokemon cards with you, that's how you lose friends. I think that we're going in the opposite direction instead of going forward. That's for sure.
And this all has happened in the wake of just consistent turmoil that has ignited between us, the U.S., and Canada, especially in the wake of Trump proposing Canada become the 51st state of America. And matter of fact, yesterday, I was working at my cafe, and I happened to get a customer from Quebec. And I talked to him about this, and he said it's rough, especially because he can't bring anything across the border, because if he has to bring something across the border, he has to pay the 25% tariff along with the tax and another fee. And on top of that, it's just like a lot of Canadians have started to hate on the U.S., especially this was seen after the hockey tournament that happened recently, the four teams played,
yeah.
the Four Nations tournament. A lot of Canadians, went to their social media saying like, Canada will never be America, stuff like that. And he had brought up another great point is that it's not good for him for Canada to be the first state, the 51st state, because Canada is a very democratic nation, so they would not vote for him or any other Republican candidate in that matter.
Yeah, so that's a good point. Like, Canada's big, I feel like how many electoral votes would Canada get?
That's a good question.
Probably 2.
I feel like it would make sense, like, if, like you said, Canada's too big. Like, I understand if they wanted to do provinces, but even then, leave Canada alone.
They're their own unique entity. They should just be their own thing.
We got bigger issues,
Right,
man.
yeah.
Like, Canada, come on, dude.
Like, last I checked, U.S. and Canada have been, at least, I don't want to say friends, but on good terms for a long amount of time. So why change this?
Exactly.
Politically, yeah, like we've been allies, but remember like the whole TikTok ban thing that happened just in the US?
Mm-hmm.
And then when we left the TikTok platform, Canada kind of stepped in, the Canada users, and they were like trashing the US and like US influencers and stuff, and then other countries told on them once we came back. So I feel like politically and like seriously, yes, we are allies, but then there's like this weird temperature with just the civilians of Canada already having beef with us because we're like right next to each other. And then like maybe there's kind of like this like competition that already started happening, and then now Trump gave him like a really good excuse because what is this?
Yeah.
Like you're not supposed to be doing this to a friend. And then they're like, might as well like go the whole way. If you're gonna go this way, we're gonna go down with you.
That's a good point. That's very valid.
Yeah, I agree. This whole situation has just been a big fiasco.
Just let them have whiskey in Canada.
Yeah,
like, let them have we have good whiskey.
We'll do a fair trade.
You know?
We'll take their Molson. We'll give them our Maker's
Yeah.
Mark. Exactly.
And isn't whiskey's only, it has to be made in Kentucky to be whiskey, right?
I'm not
I
sure.
don't
Something
know
with like
about that.
bourbon or something. There's
Yeah.
different, like it has to be made out of a certain barrel, and
Yeah.
you're right, something like
Anyway.
that. Yeah.
Anywho, I want to move on to a slightly more positive topic just to end out the night. Recently, going back to the Oscars, there has been, a film has appeared in the news. It's called Flow. It was made by Latvian filmmaker Gintas Zilbalodis, and they just won the Oscar for Best Animated Picture, beating out Inside Out 2. And one of the things that made Flow stand out was the fact that Flow was made using Blender, free software. And the other thing that kind of attributed to it was Flow did not have any dialogue. And yeah, so I have a clip. It shows footage from Flow, and it also shows, in the same clip, it's going to show footage from Inside Out 2. So let's take a look at that.
Here I am, meeting you face to face. Okay, how can I help? I can take notes, get coffee, manage your calendar, walk your dog, carry your things, watch you sleep.
Wow, you have a lot of energy. Maybe you could just stay in one place?
Anything. Just call my name and I'm here for you.
Okay, love that. And what was your name again?
Oh, I'm sorry, I can get ahead of myself. I'm anxiety. I'm one of Riley's new emotions, and we are just super jazzed to be here. Where can I put my stuff?
What do you mean, we?
So yeah, you can clearly see the difference in production value between Flow and Inside Out. I mean, I will say for Blender and just because I've tried using Blender myself and I could not even like just generate a simple shape, let alone an entire environment that moves. So I really have to give credit to Flow. And another interesting point, Flow had a budget of 3.5 million euros or $3.8 million in comparison to 200 million for Inside Out 2.
Wow.
So
And that's the best they could do? The 200 mil?
So one question I want to bring up is, when making a film, an animated film, or any other film, what's more important? Is it the storytelling and the message that you want to send, or is it the production value? Because granted, you cannot have one without the other, but what do you think is more important?
I think, like, undeniably the style of Flow is like so unique and so personal to those artists. Like, in terms of production, like that's a hard question because like the production quality was very good. Like it looks like nothing I've seen, and I feel like the storytelling is also very solid. I mean, obviously, if you're telling a story with no dialogue, you need to have like all the other aspects have to be in place. And I think like I don't know. I just think it's very unique. I feel like these other big, Pixar was it Pixar who did Inside Out 2?
I believe so.
I feel like they just kind of do what they do. They don't take a lot of chances, and that's fine. But yeah,
I mean, Pixar has over its history, Pixar has pumped out some amazing
bangers.
works.
Yeah,
Like Up.
yeah,
That's a classic.
But have they not settled a little bit? Like at a certain point, it's kind of like I feel like a lot of Pixar movies are similar.
I mean, it's hard because after a while, it's hard to come up with something original because there's just so much content.
But then
being
I see
made.
something like Flow, and I'm like, okay, never seen something like that.
And I will say, when I first started taking film classes, one of the first major assignments I had was to create a non-dialogue film, a short film. And I will say that was no easy feat because you have to send a message and convey a certain emotion without using text. So to do that for a full feature-length film, I think that's very incredible, and Gintz did a very good job with that. Matter of fact, he has become the first Latvian filmmaker to win an Oscar.
Oh, nice.
Just another thing, I think it's really impressive what they did with not even $4 million. Like, although there was no dialogue in the movie, they had to go out and they had to record all of the different sounds that the animals may make. Like, I believe like the cat was like the sound designer's cat. I feel like there's a capybara in the movie. They had to go out and film a baby camel because apparently capybaras don't make very many noises. But I think that definitely that there is, although like the production may not look as great as something like Inside 2 or another Pixar feature, I think that they definitely are putting in that work with either story or production and other sides, that it's clearly a good film and shouldn't be taken for granted just because it's not a big budget per film made on something like Blender, which is a free software.
I think this definitely helps to open up the imagination of aspiring animated filmmakers because obviously Blender is free and anyone can access it. But yeah, unfortunately that is all the time we have today. Thank you for joining me today, and yeah, thank you for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.